Welcome back to another base build. Now today we are going to look more on the solo starter base. Now as everyone knows, for a solo, a starter base is key, and utilising all the space within that starter base is even more key. Now I have managed to get 3 large boxes, 5 small boxes, 3 furnace, a research bench and a workbench, sleeping bag and campfire in this starter base. Now one key thing for this, it has 5 doors to get straight in. Now it can also have an unlootable, or it can have the bulletproof window. It just depends which BPs you have, but there is a bit of a risk by having the unlootable TC as well. Now as you come in, you can see the way the doors are done, every door becomes some sort of airlock, so it stops people from progressing further if your door is left open. So if you are being camped, it's going to give you multiple chances to try and counter them back and get the doors closed as well. The key thing is not to panic and spam the wrong doors to let them progress any further. Now as you can see, there's 3 doors there, but the 2 double doors inside also act as a way of keeping people out because it cuts halfway through. So if you leave the doors open, they're going to have to take both double doors out as well to get into it. Now you can see if you have the unlootable TC, which will show shortly, from that angle they could probably take the TC out, place a bag and get in, but if you have the bulletproof window, it stops them from being able to do that. Now as I said, I've utilised as much space as possible to try and do it in a way where you can still move around the base and function properly. Now for me, it is critical for any starter base that isn't all squashed in. You're having to sit and just stare at little points in the base to try and get to a campfire or a single box. It's not how I prefer my starter base to be. I want it to be basically usable. Now as I mentioned, you can have the unlootable TC, still works. The pouch drops to the bottom, no one gets anything. Because the upkeep is very low, it gives you maximum slots as well within this. So all your gunpowder, your sulphur, your scrap can go in here and no one can get to it if you choose to use the unlootable, unless they actually break through the walls, which if it's metal is going to cost a hell of a lot to do. Now you can see as you click in, it's very low upkeep. So it's giving you a hell of a lot of slots to give you the chance to get your main base if you choose to break away from this and maybe put a footprint down, which will show you how you can expand shortly from this and just build your main base. Now as I said, starter bases are key, but if you do the unlootable in this, it can cost you in the long run. From this position here, fire arrows straight above it will drop the TC, a bag can be placed and people can get in. So if you have the BP for the bulletproof window, I honestly strongly recommend that's the way you go. It's just a lot easier for you, a lot more secure as well, and you know that you're probably going to come back to your TC at least. If someone's going to have to go through 5 doors, then a bulletproof window as well, in the very first 24 hours of wipe, if you're a solo server, then good luck to them. They've spent a lot of time farming that up, they're going to get it regardless, they're very determined. Now as I said, the low keep is very low for the upkeep here. Now if you want to expand this base, you can quite easily if you have the ladder hatch, or you can put ladders up and utilise them. Just wrap it round like the old style footprint used by many a person. Casimo to mention at least. If you look through his channel, you'll see the mathematical way to try and build a base as strong as you can is using this footprint. It's a very old technique. It's not new in any way, shape or form, but it's very useful. Now to build this base, I will not talk all the way through this, there's no point, because it is very simple. It's just a square with 4 triangles leading off. You're going to put all your walls in place like so, then you put your door frames in. I would take your doors the same way that I'm doing them now. This will maximise the airlock potential for doors opening and closing and keeping people out as long as you can. We'll put the extra airlock on towards the end, obviously because you'll be building this up. You don't want to spend all your resources straight away. You can do some wood, start it. I'm using B grade at the moment, so it's automatically in stone. You just upgrade as you go along. Now when you get all these half walls up and make this little sunken area above you, you're going to be set with the choice of, are you going to use the unlootable or the bulletproof window. Now as I said, if you can, try and use a bulletproof window, but if you're only looking to stay in this for say a couple hours, it might be worth actually using unlootable, because people tend to not really online raid. It's a known fact. A lot of people will probably in the comments saying they do it all the time. I'm sure you probably don't. Now, for this, I am going to actually use the window because I think it is the more viable option to do. If you do use unlootable, you can utilise your furnace, jump up, you can easily get into it. As I said, when it's taken out, it will drop to the bottom. Someone might see the parcel for a split second, but as soon as it drops, they can't get to it. It's very key, and I'll show towards the end which elements you have to take to metal, but you must make sure if you use unlootable that you upgrade to metal. Don't leave it in wood or stone, because people will just take the back wall out instead. People will chance the doors rather than taking a metal wall very early game. Now, if you're a group, etc., this probably isn't the ideal starter base for you. As the title suggests, it is more of a solo option. Now, I'm going to let the video play through. There's no point in me basically talking through where to place things. You can see it for yourself. You may actually have a different end of how you want to place stuff in here. I've left the roof off on purpose. It's so it gives natural light in and it's not super dark, but I'll put that on at the end. I'll stay crouched as soon as when I'm putting all the boxes down though, so you can see it is possible.